Welcome to tonight's gut health class. The purpose of today is to help you, to support you with any issues that you may be facing or have faced in the past as a family or personally with any sort of gut issues, right from, you know, our sort of intestinal tract goes from our mouth right through. So we're going to cover everything and things that we can do to support things like absorption. We're going to look at the gut-brain connection and how stress has an effect on our gut as well. So I'll just start by sharing my slides with you. Okay. If during this presentation you feel like you want to ask some questions, you can feel free to pop it in the chat as you see them, and we'll go through it one by one at the end. When you can unmute if you want after as well. Okie doke. Little dog's coming in to say hello. Right, so gut health class. So we're just going to talk about, first of all, some of these things that we mentioned at the beginning, things like leaky gut, acid reflux, constipation, the stress and the effects of antibiotics on our gut microbiome and how that can really knock us off balance, and all the common things that we face. Processed food, even just the simple things that people struggle with, constipation and things like that. We'll go through that. Okie dokie. So it's one of the key aspects of our wellness, and it's one of our signs that if you go to a holistic person or a doctor, one of the things they'll ask for is how are your bowel movements? That's a sign of health and vitality, isn't it? If we're having regular bowel movements, everything's flowing as it should do, that's a really good sign. We're absorbing our food, everything is working as it should. So we're going to look at what we can do, and some of these essential oils, but also other products and other natural things that are already occurring in our gut, how we can add that back in and restore the gut to its normal, shall we say, balance. Oop, went too far then. So just a little snapshot of essential oils. And when we're talking about essential oils, we only mean CPTG oils, so that means that they're tested to a standard of pharmaceutical grade where we can use them internally. We know they're safe to use and they're actually really beneficial if taken internally. So some people say, oh, I just take the oils under the tongue or whatever. That is absolutely fine, but it's always good to take these oils, if we're using it for our digestive tract, actually down our digestive tract, whether it's through a glass of water or in a vegetable capsule or a spoon, whatever you want, as long as it enters that way. And that's going to be the most effective way of using it. As well as we talked about topically over the tummy. That's a really effective way. You could use it both ways. Let's say you're really chronically suffering with something, then I would go internally and also over the tummy as well. So things like some constituents in the oils like menthol that's naturally occurring in peppermint oil, and we have carbone in caraway spearmint oil. These can actually enhance the absorption of nutrients and substances, so it can help us to absorb our food better. Ginger oil, that helps facilitate the bioavailability of other oils and nutrients when ingested. So ginger oil can really help us to absorb and take the nutrients better rather than pushing them away. So ginger's like a drawer of these good nutrients that we need, and also the other oils. So it's a really good a friend to have is ginger. And bearing in mind, ginger and peppermint are in the Zengest blend. When we're talking about bioavailability, it probably crops up a lot in these classes. It just means the amount of something that actually gets absorbed into the bloodstream when it's introduced to the body. A lot of the things we can take, maybe some supplements, just literally get washed out into our urine. So bioavailability means it's as natural form as possible, and usually we take it with food. So then our body thinks, oh, it's food, I'll take that, get absorbed into bloodstream, and you're getting all your vitamins and minerals that you need. So essential oils can actually enhance the bioavailability of beneficial ingredients that we take in, and that will positively impact our health. So did you know that 80% of your immune system is located in your gut? And the gut is heavily fortified with cells that participate in immune responses. It's the place where we're exposed to antigens in the body. So stuff going on in the gut can really it can really knock us off balance. It can affect our immune system, and it's the largest immune organ in the body. We have this GALT, which identifies foreign substances, and it triggers an immune response in the body. So that is our sort of digestive system in a bit of a snapshot there. Okay, so it's been called the second brain, the gut. But interestingly, if you notice it probably looks very similar to the brain, the intestine. It's called the second brain because it contains as many neurons as a spinal cord, and it even has its own nervous system, which is pretty amazing, isn't it? So there's two-way communication that goes on between the brain through the nervous system, and they work together, and they help to regulate the gastrointestinal, immune, endocrine, and nervous systems. And you see those little microbiomes there, the little bacteria that talk to each other. And often, have you heard of the gut, your gut feeling on something? That's them little microbes talking to each other. So if they don't like something, or if they don't like a certain person, they'll tell you about it. They're very, very clever, and send signals right up through the vagus nerve right up to the brain. So sometimes it's good to listen to the gut. However, your gut could be wrong if you've not got enough of those friendly bacteria. So we need to make sure we've got enough in there so we can listen to our gut more. Okay. As we said, bacteria is the key to a healthy gut. We need as much diversity of bacteria as possible, and known as the gut microbiome. If we don't have enough bacteria, enough balance of the right bacteria, it can affect everything. Intestinal integrity, so that's the absorption, mood, bowel regularity, inflammatory response, our skin health, our metabolism, and our cognitive function. So the way our brain functions. If it's known as our second brain, then obviously, if our gut is right, it will really affect our thinking and the way we are. And we've had some really lovely testimonials of kids that have been put on the probiotics and how it's really helped their mood, because the gut, everything is balanced in the gut, so it's really affected how they are as a person, which is amazing. So friendly microbes, they compete with the undesirable ones for space to colonize, and they create an unfavorable environment for undesirable microbes. So if we've got enough of the good bacteria, the good probiotics and prebiotics, that can actually push out the badness. You know, if you're full of a certain let's say candida or other things that are flourishing in the gut, if you flood it with a lot, there's lots of other things you can do to help cleanse the gut, but if you're flooding it with all this great bacteria, it's going to push the bad out. There's not enough room for it. Okay, so a little bit about leaky gut. If you can see these little villi, them little hair-like structures on the top, they're covered with digestive enzymes that our body needs to break down the food into its component parts, for example, carbs, fats, proteins. But in a leaky gut, it's really important that we have enzymes to help rebuild the villi. So you can see there's some gaps there, and it means the villi has been broken down. And as you can see there, we've got pathogens, we've got allergens in food, and they are actually entering the bloodstream. So it's like the wall has been compromised, and then these things can get into the bloodstream, and this can then cause skin problems, immune response, etc., etc. So we need enough digestive enzymes to cover that sort of villi and restore it again. So it's really important to supplement with enzymes, and it helps to break food down, and also helps to sort of rebuild this villi over a few weeks. It's probably, if somebody struggles with leaky gut issues, that they'd have to take enzymes for the rest of their life to keep up with this. Maybe 1 to 2 capsules with every meal, but we take it anyway, regularly anyway, because we know how good it is. Also, for leaky gut issues, it's really important to take enough omega-3 fatty acids just to help replenish and rebuild the leaks in the gut. And also, you need a healthy layer of good bacteria as well. So it's beneficial to take pro and prebiotics. Once your body has patched up the leaks in the gut with these enzymes, and obviously you've grown a healthy layer of good bacteria, and then you know with a probiotic, this can really help to rejuvenate and replenish, and you will find that you may be able to eat a little bit more of what you wanted to eat within balance, because the enzymes are helping to break these foods down. And it also mentions things like fermented foods are really good for the gut as well. Okay, so the gut cleanse. So a lot of people, we can pick up maybe things like intestinal worms, we can pick up parasites, we can get food poisoning when we're on holiday, and we can pick up all sorts of nasty things that can really make us sick. We can get stomach flu, all sorts of things that are going on. And generally, we're quite good at knowing if our gut's a bit off, by our toilet, our bowel movements, if it's more regular, or there's we don't have to go into detail, but you know when something's off, and that could be a sign that we've got something going on there. We had someone recently who's got a dog, and she thought she had worms. So she looked into it, and it was oregano or this GX assist. So I'll just go into a little bit of what oregano can do for our gut. It's antiparasitic and antiviral, and it's a really powerful oil that we can use to cleanse the intestines of anything that's lurking, whether it's worms, parasites, you name it. It's known as the killer for a reason. So you would take 1 to 2 drops of oregano on a daily basis for about 10 days. You could actually do it maybe 3 times a day, but I would start low and build it up just in case. And also, just remember, if you have not a strong constitution in your stomach, or you've got any sort of ulcers, I would avoid oregano, and I would use it topically instead. So we're just talking for a normal, healthy gut that's maybe a bit off. So we can do a gut cleanse maybe once a month for 10 days. We could take oregano in a capsule for 10 days. And by the end of it, you should feel the bowel movements. You feel like you've had a bit of a clean out, and you'll know usually by the next day that everything's moving out. So that's oregano, because that's in the kit, and it's a really good one. You can even add tea tree for extra antibacterial things in there. So oregano and tea tree are great for gut cleansing. And GX Assist is similar but more powerful. It's called the Exorcist because it moves all the stuff that's been lurking around for a while. So GX Assist has got oregano in, but it's also got things like thyme, lemongrass, caprylic acid, and oregano. So it's a punchy pill. So really good for doing a gut cleanse for 10 days. And you can take 1 to 3 capsules a day. Ideally, take it with your evening meal, because then overnight you should have your bowel movement in the morning, and you should be able to function normally. Also, if you've got a buildup of candida or anything like that, these are ideal for helping with overgrowth of things like that. Okay, so just going back to things that we use every day and things that can support our tummy, even if we don't have all these problems on a regular basis. Sometimes our tummy can be a bit off. So I take these daily anyway, just because I know it helps me. So lemon in water to help with alkalinity in the body, supports a sluggish digestion. The lemon just so good at sort of cleansing the body. And all these other things it does anyway. So it's just a really good way to just a proactive thing to do anyway, antimicrobial. So lemon in water. And then also the Zengest, we've got all these lovely oils in that help to reduce gas and stimulate the digestive system gently, but it's very gently. It's a tummy tamer. And you can see there things like Crohn's, what we mentioned, acid reflux, nausea, gastritis, heartburn. Whether we've got acid reflux or something going on in our bowels, Zengest will tame from top to bottom. So there's lots of ways you can take it: in a capsule, in a warm drink, warm water or cold water. You can rub it over the tummy. You can rub it over the heart area for acid reflux. And you can do it all those ways as well. If you're feeling sick, nausea, travel sickness, or you feel like you're going to throw up, just breathe Zengest in, and the ginger often takes the edge off. And it's been really, really supportive of people that are just about to be sick, and just helps to ward it off. So it's a wonderful blend, and it's a great one because it's in the kit. We can take it with us on holiday. It's so great to have. If you go to a foreign country, sometimes you can have a dodgy meal, can't you? And also it's got anti-parasitic properties in the Zengest, but just in a gentler way to oregano. So you're going to a foreign country and you don't know how they've cooked it. You've had something you shouldn't have. The whole family will benefit from having Zengest, and you don't have to worry about spending hundreds of pounds at a pharmacy, a foreign pharmacy that you don't know what you're taking. So wonderful travel first aid kit, and Zengest would be the one I would add to it, as well as oregano as well. We talked about the benefits of probiotics, and these are the two that doTERRA have. So the PB Assist Plus is a blend of both probiotics and prebiotics, and the dual encapsulated. So they're like little they look like little frogs actually in a capsule. It's like green, and the reason they've done a dual capsule is that once it enters the stomach, the acid can often take over, open it up before it's got into the intestines. So that's why it's dual encapsulated, so that it can enter the intestines and flourish with all that wonderful digestive flora. So a really clever way of doing it. And it's 6 billion units of active probiotics that go safely past your stomach and into your gut. So that's a PB Assist. That's what I'd recommend for adults. And the PB Assist Junior is the most wonderful tasting powder. It tastes like sherbet. All the kids love it. They don't know it's doing them good, but it just, they think they're going to the sweetie shop, honestly. Everyone, all the kids that come to my house, like, can I have a PB Assist? But obviously it's doing them good as well. It's really helping with the tummy. And also if you don't like taking capsules, you can take the PB Assist. You can put it into a smoothie, a yogurt, or whatever else. But actually, it's just nice. Just rip it off and just take it like a sherbet, sherbet dip. That's a really good way to support our bacteria. Let's say the kids maybe have been on antibiotics. You definitely put them on PB Assist after that, just to restore everything back. And same to yourself. Give your tummy a bit of TLC and get the probiotics in at least for 10 to 30 days. If not, once a month for 10 days, do it. Some people do it one a day every day. So it just depends on how you want to work it, really. You can be very flexible with it. So a little bit mentioned about digestive enzymes for people with leaky gut. And digestive enzymes, they're naturally occurring in our body. We need enzymes to do everything. We need enzymes to heal wounds. We need enzymes to break down fat, to regulate cholesterol, dissolve blood clots, regulate hormones. Every process in the body requires enzymes. So it's really important we have enough in the body. What they do when the role in food is they help to break down the food into its various elements. So we need enzymes for all of our body systems there. But unfortunately, in our modern sort of life, after the age of 30, enzymes naturally decrease in the body. Maybe our lifestyle, highly processed food, highly cooked food as well, destroys the natural enzymes that are occurring. So that's why it's good to undercook vegetables, because you get more of the enzymes there. There are no enzymes in bottled fruit juice or fruit puree, so we really need to make sure that we can eat raw, fresh fruit as well if we can. So that's the naturally occurring enzymes. And what Terrazyme does, it contains all these naturally occurring enzymes, but it's a supplement that we can add to our diet to help break down the food into its various components. So it's proteins into the amino acids, etc., etc. It's interesting if we sort of have any gluten sensitivities or lactose sensitivities, it can really help break that down. So even if we do indulge in any of these things, it can really help break that down. All right. Just give him a ring. Give him a ring. Right. Okay, so digestive enzymes, we take this with our heavy meals, especially. Let's say it's a meal with a lot of carbohydrate, a lot of protein. One capsule will maximize the nutrients in our food, but 2 to 3 capsules if we're taking a highly processed food, or maybe it's a steak and we really want to break that down, because often it takes our body a few hours to process these things. So what Terrazyme does is it just helps things work quicker and more efficiently, and it's helping the body digest the food better, and you'll feel less tired after a meal as well. So ideally, you want to take Terrazyme just before you eat, maybe 15 to 30 minutes, but if you forget, you can take it during your meal as well. What's great about Terrazyme is because it's naturally occurring in our body, we can actually use it for babies. We can put a little bit on our finger and pop it in the mouth, and put a little bit on their tongue, open the capsule up and put it into their porridge or their apple puree or whatever sort of soft baby food. And this will really help stop those crampings, which we know is things like colic, and really help with the reflux for babies. I wish I had all this when mine were young. You can even put a little bit on the bottle or on the breast, so they can take that in, just a little amount for babies. Very safe to use because we already produce it in our bodies anyway. When we think of constipation, that is our incomplete digestion of food, and this disrupts the flow, doesn't it? We have this blockage, and when we've got an undigested food, this can ferment and cause bloating, so that it gets into a vicious cycle for people. So what Terrazyme does, it provides efficient breakdown and absorption from food. We need to drink water when taking Terrazyme. Waste is minimized and it will not block the intestinal flow. And I can't tell you the amount of people that we've had such good results with Terrazyme. They've had to go into hospital regularly with digestive blockages or with the colon. Since Terrazyme, it's not been a problem for them. People's skin issues with Terrazyme, and even when you get travel tummy and you sometimes feel a bit constipated when you're traveling, because sometimes your body holds on to stuff, doesn't it, because you're a bit nervous. I gave some Terrazyme to someone who had this, and literally within half an hour, straight to the toilet, ready to go again. So really good for constipation, just helping everything flow as it should. Okay, so just a bit of a recap. We have enzymes in the body to process everything. We've got digestive enzymes and we've got metabolic enzymes. So when we've eaten a meal, the body's priority is to get that meal processed and sorting it all out into its various things so it can use it. So digestion is the priority in the body. And the body, if it doesn't have enough digestive enzymes, it may steal our metabolic enzymes. Have you ever heard the phrase starve a fever, feed a cold? When we starve in a fever, it's basically it's advice that we want our body to fight infection rather than work on digestion. So if we're poorly and we're eating a heavy meal, our body is trying to just process the food. Really, we want to have very light meals and let the body deal with the illness. So what taking Terrazyme does, it helps. It's like hiring a cleaner for the body. It's doing its job more efficiently. So taking Terrazyme will give you more energy, and it will make everything work more efficiently. Have you ever felt really tired after a heavy meal, maybe like a roast dinner or something? That's because the body is dealing the metabolic enzymes. So taking Terrazyme just helps everything go better. And if you take Terrazyme on an empty stomach, it can actually help to clean things. So it can clean the blood. It acts as cleaners to combat inflammation, fatty plaques, arteries in the arteries and veins. And because some of the protocols which we'll talk about for people that have skin issues is taking Terrazyme on an empty stomach helps to heal the skin, because sometimes if we've not got enough enzymes, the body's working on digestion, it's not working at healing and repairing the skin and the immune response in the gut. So you can take it on an empty stomach, depending on what skin issue you have. You could wake up and take 2 Terrazyme before you've eaten, an hour or two before food, just to help clean your body up. Okay. So just remember that enzymes eat scar tissue. So if we've got something that's not healing right, um, we can really improve it by taking digestive enzymes. And there's some ways to use it there. 2 to 3 in the morning and at night, as well as during the with the meal. So you can take up to 8 to 10 a day with great success when you're dealing with things that have massive operations to the body, bruising, sprains, repairing tissue, damage from things like that. Obviously, you wouldn't need to take 8 to 10 a day for the rest of your life. It's just in that period of time when you're recovering can really help the body. But what I will suggest is only just start with one and build yourself up. Introduce it to the biggest meal, and then build up to 2 or 3 as you see how you get on with things. Because you don't want to just say, oh, all of a sudden all these enzymes are in the body, my body doesn't know what to do. Just gradually introduce it. Okay. People have problems with low stomach acidity. Things like I think studies have shown that kids with breathing difficulties, they have low stomach acid. And when low stomach acid is low, it creates a panic, and it creates a high histamine response to trigger stomach acid production. And Terrazyme can help with that. So that can reduce the histamine response, thereby reducing things like hay fever and allergies. So yeah, and it's just really helping the body to itchiness as well, things like that, itchy skin, all to do with histamine response. So Terrazyme can help with that too. Is there anything Terrazyme can't do? I think there's one more. Head tension is often related to gut problems, so you can take Terrazyme for that. Muscle recovery, and before and after surgery, we know that enzymes eat scar tissue, so that can help repair the body as well, help recovery. Yeah, and if you don't have a gallbladder, or you struggle with gallbladder issues, or we've had some wonderful testimonials with this one. Somebody was meant to have an operation for gallstones, and they took Terrazyme, and the doctor said, you no longer need an operation. So if you're struggling with, because basically the gallbladder helps with digestive enzymes, and if you don't have one, you struggle. Terrazyme is gallbladder in a bottle, so it can help to replace what you've lost. All sorts of things. There's so much more. But yeah, just a little recap. When you're using them, there may be an imbalance. You may have loose stools for a few days, because it's breaking everything down, getting everything out, having a bit of clean out. That's why I always start with 1 or 2. Sometimes healing is not always comfortable, but just slow and low, and just keep in touch and see how you get on with everything. Yeah, so we talked about bioavailability of nutrients in the body. It's really important that we get enough nutrients. The lifelong vitality pack, these can be bought separately, but as a pack, it contains everything you can possibly need for health and vitality, all the minerals, botanical extracts, polyphenols. We've got turmeric, we've got milk thistle, everything to help with our inflammation in our body, as well as our skin, and just help the organs function better, brain and nervous system. You can see it there, just for general wellness. So that's the Lifelong Vitality Pack. They're all bioavailable, and they don't compromise on ingredients. They're non-GMO. There's no soy or anything like that. They're top quality ingredients. And if you haven't felt the difference from taking it, then doTERRA will give you your money back in 30 days' time. So you can be confident that it's the best of the best. And I think we're nearly towards the end. Yeah, just a little bit of a daily regime. If you're a little bit confused or overwhelmed with what we've just covered, this is the kind of thing that we sort of recommend doing. So when you wake up, take some lemon in your water to get your gut in an alkaline state and to cleanse it with breakfast. And depending on which meal you're having, how heavy the meal is, you'd take 1 or 2 Terrazymes. You can take the PB Assist for 10 days, or you can take 1 a month. And peppermint and Zengest are great with meals, during meals or after meals, just to help the absorption of food anyway. And if you're on the Lifelong Vitality, you can take 1 of each with 1 meal and 1 of each with the other, or I just take 2 of each. You can go up to 4 of each. depending on how much you want to use in the month. So that's just a little bit of a regime for you to get into. And don't forget the Lifelong Vitality. It's actually got a tummy taming blend in it to help with the gut to function better as well. So lots of things that we can do and try to really help our gut there. And the 10 core oils for anyone who's got a kit, we know we've got peppermint, zengest, lemon for the gut. We've got oregano and tea tree for bacteria. So we've got lots of things to help our gut and also things to help our emotions as well. Because we know, obviously, if we're stressed out, that can really help enhance the IBS and things like that. So we've got a lovely regime to follow there. And yes, and there are some kits that are available as well. So what I'll do, I'll stop recording